Have you ever felt like you knew something before it happened, but thought it was just a coincidence? Maybe it was a sudden feeling in your chest, an inexplicable hunch, or a dream that turned into reality upon waking. If so, let me tell you something. It's very possible that you've experienced moments of clairvoyance without even knowing it. Modern life, full of noise, distractions, and routine, has caused many to forget the deep connection that naturally exists between their soul and the subtler dimensions of the universe. And today, I want to invite you to remember. Imagine for a moment that your most intuitive thoughts, strange dreams, and gut feelings are not accidents or the product of an overactive mind. Imagine that they are part of a silent language your soul has known since before you were born, an ancient language we've stopped hearing in the hustle of daily life. Doesn't it excite you to think you might carry within you a hidden gift, a spiritual present waiting to be discovered? Clairvoyance is the ability to perceive information beyond the five senses. It's seeing with the eyes of the soul, receiving images, sensations, or knowledge that don't come from the material world, but from the energetic and spiritual field that surrounds us. It's not a talent reserved for a chosen few, nor is it something foreign to you. It's an innate, deeply human ability that some naturally keep alive, and others can learn to awaken. Recognizing your clairvoyance not only connects you with your true essence, but also allows you to walk through life with more wisdom, peace, and purpose. When we don't recognize these inner signals, we risk living disconnected, ignoring valuable messages that could guide our path. However, when you dare to open that invisible door and trust your inner perception, a profound transformation begins. You discover that you are not alone, that the entire universe conspires in your favor, sending you signs, answers, and paths. Clairvoyance is not a supernatural phenomenon. It's the natural expression of a soul that is awake and sensitive to the vibrations of life. Today, I want to accompany you on this journey of discovery. As we move forward, I will show you the clearest signs that you may be clairvoyant, even if you haven't realized it until now. And I assure you, when you identify with these signs, something within you will resonate deeply, like a bell finally hearing its own echo in the vast universe. If you've ever felt things you can't explain, if you've had gut feelings that came true, or dreams that seemed prophetic, this is the moment to take the first step toward your awakening. You're not here by chance. Your soul has guided your steps to this moment. And if you feel that subtle call in your heart, I invite you to write in the comments, "Yes, I'm ready." Because today we begin together the path toward the rediscovery of your inner light. As we enter this journey, the first silent language of the soul I want to reveal to you is intuition, that quiet, almost whispering voice that we often feel in the chest or deep in the stomach. These are not just thoughts. It's knowledge that rises from a place we can't see but feel with absolute clarity. How many times have you said or thought, "I knew it," even before something happened? How many times has your heart warned you of something before it appeared in the physical world? That inexplicable certainty is one of the first manifestations of clairvoyance. True intuition doesn't come with fear or anxiety. It arrives like a calm wave of inner certainty. Unlike anxious thoughts that come from the mind, intuition springs from the soul in an almost sacred act of communication between your deepest self and the universe. Those who are naturally clairvoyant often experience intuitions they initially hesitate to trust, but over time, they prove to be accurate again and again. It's as if their soul knows how to read invisible energies already in motion long before they materialize in reality. The second major sign of a deep connection with clairvoyance is experiencing vivid or prophetic dreams. I don't mean confusing or fragmented dreams that disappear upon waking, but those that remain etched in your memory, filled with symbols, intense emotions, and precise details. They are dreams that immerse you in a different atmosphere, as if you had truly traveled to another plane of existence. These dreams often contain important messages, warnings, or even visions of future events that later come true with astonishing accuracy. From a spiritual perspective, vivid dreams act as a direct communication channel between the soul and the subtle planes. During sleep, mental noise quiets, and the soul has more freedom to receive information without the limits of rational thought. These messages often arrive as dream symbols: animals, paths, lights, open doors, calm or turbulent waters, and more. Each image holds a coded message that, if we learn to interpret it, can guide us brightly along our life path. The energy of the third eye, that spiritual center located between the eyebrows, is the key that allows these intuitions and dreams to manifest. When this center is active, we perceive beyond the visible. We don't just see with our physical eyes, we feel, sense, and visualize invisible realities. The third eye is the portal of clairvoyance, and any soul that begins to experience accurate intuitions or prophetic dreams is, consciously or unconsciously, awakening this powerful inner energy. Now, I invite you to reflect. Have you experienced intuitions that came true in astonishing ways? Have you had dreams that later became reality? If so, your gift may already be awake, just waiting for your attention and development. Recognizing these signs not only strengthens your spiritual connection, it also prepares you for the next level of consciousness awaiting you on this sacred path. When the soul begins to awaken its clairvoyance, one of the first phenomena that appears is the perception of invisible presences or energies. It can be a sudden feeling of not being alone, even in an empty room. It's like a subtle shift in the air, a different vibration that your physical senses can't explain, but your heart clearly feels. Sometimes it comes with an inexplicable shiver, a tingling on the skin, or a sudden urge to look behind you. These experiences are not hallucinations or unfounded imagination. They're the echo of a sensitive soul starting to pick up on the nuances of the subtle dimensions around us. When we feel someone watching us without logical reason or perceive environmental changes like a drop in the temperature, an unknown scent, or a faint sound, we are in reality touching the veil that separates the material world from the spiritual planes. Many ancient cultures knew these sensations were proof of other realities coexisting with ours. Recognizing these signs is an act of courage because it means accepting that we are much more than matter. We are conscious energy navigating a universe of infinite vibrations. The fourth sign that reveals an opening to clairvoyance is the spontaneous appearance of mental images. We're not talking about deliberate fantasies or forced imagination, but about brief, intense, and clear visions that arise without warning. You could be doing something ordinary, walking, reading, and suddenly an image of a person, an unknown place, or a future event flashes into your mind. These are scenes you don't consciously provoke, often charged with strong emotional or symbolic content. These spontaneous visualizations are genuine manifestations of extrasensory perception, a bridge between your ordinary and higher consciousness. When the third eye begins to activate, your mind becomes receptive to fragments of information from other realities or potential futures. You may not always understand the message in the moment, but the image remains with you, and over time, its meaning often becomes clear. It's like receiving pieces of a puzzle that slowly come together to reveal a greater truth.
Extrasensory perception is not an anomaly or a mental glitch. It's, in essence, the natural language of your soul when it is freed from the limitations of the ego. Learning to recognize when a mental image is a message and not just imagination requires sensitivity, patience, and a lot of spiritual practice. But once you fine-tune this channel, you become a receiver of deep wisdom, able to read the signs of the universe as if they were open pages of a great sacred book. Now then, I'd love to hear from you. Have you experienced any of these signs? Have you felt invisible presences? Or received spontaneous images that seem to carry a message? Share your experience and help others awaken too. Every story shared sparks the awakening in more souls. Remember, your voice is also part of this great call to higher consciousness.
As we continue to explore your psychic abilities, we encounter two fascinating signs that mark the path of those beginning to open their perception: synchronicities and spontaneous revelations. The first of these, the fifth sign, manifests through repetitive patterns the universe places before you as unmistakable signs. Have you constantly seen the number 1111 on clocks, receipts, or license plates? Or repeatedly encountered butterflies, white feathers, or specific animals at key moments in your life? These are not mere coincidences. They are messages from the universe, little winks from the soul trying to catch your attention. Synchronicities are how the energetic field responds to your spiritual awakening. As your consciousness expands, you begin to tune into a higher frequency that allows you to perceive these signs for what they really are: doorways to a deeper understanding of your path. Each repeated number, every recurring symbol, acts as a reminder that you are not alone, that your spiritual guides, the universe itself, walk beside you, showing you that you are on the right path. It's the language of angels, of divine energy, speaking to you in a code only your heart can interpret. The sixth sign that reveals the awakening of your clairvoyance is even more subtle, yet equally powerful, receiving answers without having spoken the question aloud. It can happen during deep meditation, a moment of calm reflection, or even in the middle of a routine activity. When your mind becomes quiet enough to let the soul speak, suddenly a clear idea, an unexpected solution, or a profound revelation enters your awareness, as if someone whispered the answer directly inside you. This phenomenon is clear evidence that your personal energetic field is opening and refining. When we expand our energy from a state of emotional coherence, such as calm, gratitude, or deep meditation, we become natural receivers of higher information. We don't need to ask aloud because the soul. Take this moment of connection, subscribe, like, and tell us what spiritual signs you have experienced. Each shared experience lights another flame in this great collective awakening. Together, we awaken more consciousness and remember the sacred truth that dwells within us. There is one particularly powerful sign that marks the real awakening of psychic abilities. extreme sensitivity to the energy of people and places. It's not just emotional sensitivity in the common sense, but the ability to feel, absorb, and sometimes even reflect the energetic vibrations around us. It's as if your entire being functions like an energy sponge, capturing not just words or gestures, but the deep essence of emotions and inner states of others. You can walk into a room and, without anyone speaking, know who is sad, who is angry, or who is hiding a painful secret. This capacity to perceive subtle energies is not a burden or a weakness, as many tend to believe. It is, in fact, a gift of high spiritual sensitivity, a clear manifestation of the opening of your emotional clairvoyance. However, when you don't yet know how to manage it, this sensitivity can become overwhelming. Sudden mood swings, unexplained fatigue, sadness without apparent cause, or even anxiety are symptoms of having absorbed others' energies without proper energetic protection. This is where the path of awakening requires awareness, discipline, and self-love. Energetic empathy and clairvoyance are deeply connected. As your extrasensory perception expands, you don't just see images or receive intuitions, you begin to feel the vibration of people, places, and situations. This feeling is as real and precise as seeing or hearing, but it occurs on a vibrational level. It's a silent language that predates words, where your body and soul become instruments of spiritual reading. It's no coincidence that many authentic clairvoyants are also highly empathetic and deeply compassionate, as their sensitivity connects them to the pain, joy, and inner battles of other human beings.
Now, this capacity must be protected to prevent it from becoming a burden. If you want to use your gift in a balanced way, it's essential to learn to set energetic boundaries. Visualize a field of light around you every morning. Practice grounding techniques, perform periodic energy cleansings, and above all, learn to discern when an emotion is truly yours and when you've absorbed something external. These are essential practices. Remember that your energy is sacred and you are not obligated to carry the emotions of others. That is a profound act of self-love, necessary for your spiritual evolution. Being aware of your high sensitivity doesn't mean closing yourself off from the world, but rather learning to navigate it with wisdom. It means transforming your perception into a beacon of light that guides and also knows how to protect itself.
Each time you choose to care for your energy, you strengthen your connection with the universe, allowing your clairvoyance to bloom in a healthy, luminous, and powerful way. Recognizing this deep emotional awakening is embracing your true nature as a spiritual being. You are a bridge between worlds, a reader of vibrations, a sensitive soul in a time that urgently needs conscious hearts. Embrace it, strengthen it, and protect yourself, because the gift you carry within is as valuable as it is sacred. At this point in the journey, it's natural for internal doubts to arise. Many who begin to recognize their psychic abilities wonder silently or aloud, "Am I making this up?" This question comes from the clash between spiritual openness and the mental programming we've been exposed to since childhood, where only the tangible and measurable were considered real.
But it's important to understand something profound. True spiritual perception does not need validation from the external world. Its first witness is your own soul. Distinguishing between active imagination and spiritual vision is one of the most essential lessons in this awakening. Active imagination is usually a forced process. The mind builds scenes, scenarios, and characters voluntarily, like crafting a story. Spiritual vision, on the other hand, is different. It arises spontaneously, suddenly,
without being provoked and comes loaded with a particular energy, an energy of certainty, peace, and inner clarity. It is not a mental movie created at will, but a revelation that passes through your consciousness, leaving a subtle yet powerful imprint.
There are clear inner criteria you can use to recognize when a perception comes from the soul and not from the rational mind. One of them is the state of peace that accompanies the vision. There is no anxiety or intense doubt. There is a deep serenity, even if the message is strong or unexpected. Another indicator is inner certainty, that sense of knowing that what you perceived is true, even if you can't explain it logically. Additionally, a heightened emotional frequency is a clear sign. When spiritual vision comes from higher planes, your natural emotion will be expansion, gratitude, or a deep connection with universal love.
External signs also play a key role in validating your gifts. Often, after receiving a vision or deep intuition, you will see confirmations in the material world. Perhaps a seemingly casual conversation that touches on exactly what you perceived, a message in a book opened at random, or an evident synchronicity that reinforces your perception. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, always seeks to reaffirm what your soul has already received. You just need to stay alert and receptive to notice these loving validations. You are not alone on this path of discovery. Many beings are awakening to their gifts, each facing their own doubts, fears, and trials. The key is to trust, to take small steps forward, even when the mind tries to sow uncertainty. Your intuition is your most faithful compass. Your inner connection is more real than you've been led to believe. If your heart feels that these words resonate with you, if you've ever wondered whether your perceptions are real and now understand that they are, I invite you to take a brave step. Comment, "I trust my gift." This small act of affirmation is not just a comment. It is a declaration to the universe that you choose to trust in your soul, your light, and the magnificent power that resides within you. Now that you've recognized the signs of clairvoyance within you, the next natural step is to begin strengthening this connection. The gift already lives within you. You don't need to search for it outside. You simply need to activate it consciously. To help, I propose a simple yet profoundly transformative exercise: the Vision Journal. This practice involves dedicating a few minutes each day to recording any image, intuition, feeling, or dream that seems to have special meaning. Do not judge or try to immediately understand what you write. Still, the key is to observe and record consistently, like someone gathering scattered pieces of a great spiritual mosaic. Another powerful practice is daily inner observation. Spend just 3 minutes each day closing your eyes, breathing deeply, and focusing on the space between your eyebrows, where the third eye resides. Without expecting anything specific, simply remain open to any sensation, color, image, or word that may arise. Over time, this simple practice will begin to unlock your subtle perception, as if you were cleaning a crystal to see through it more clearly. Consistency, more than intensity, is what will make the difference in your spiritual awakening. Strengthening the third eye also involves caring for your body and mind. Conscious eating, proper hydration, regular meditation, and moderate exposure to natural light are powerful allies in this process. Likewise, surrounding yourself with high vibrations, harmonious music, spiritual reading, and nature enhances your energy field and facilitates the natural and balanced manifestation of clairvoyance. Remember, clairvoyance is not just about seeing images.
It's a total expansion of your consciousness into more subtle and elevated levels of perception. Carry this sacred truth in your heart. Your soul already knows how to see. It only needs you to open its eyes. There is no need to force anything or rush. Spiritual awakening happens at its own pace, guided by the inner wisdom that each of us carries from the beginning. Trust your process, honor each small step forward, and above all, stay open to the wonder of discovering dimensions of yourself that once seemed hidden.
If this message has resonated with you, if you felt that special vibration telling you this is your path, I ask you from the heart, support us by subscribing to the channel, liking this video, and sharing it with other seekers of light. Your action not only strengthens this community, but becomes an act of consciousness expansion for the entire world. Together, we will awaken our true power and remember, one by one, that we are bearers of a greater, more luminous, and profoundly sacred vision.